we are back. Welcome to episode 8 of 4NZ Gamers. My name's Phil Brooks. Today I'm joined by James Jennings,
hey,
Dave Watson,
hey,
and Lance Lochner.
oh yeah.
So this week we're going to be doing a section where we're going to do a bunch of different topics and chuck them up online. So you'll find those on YouTube, on our channel. You'll also find them on Facebook when we chuck them up there, and there'll be links to Twitter as well. So be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and do all those amazing things if you want to get all the content. Otherwise, let's kick into it.
Fallout 4 was just announced this week.
Fallout?
I think we all kind of called it, didn't we?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, called it.
Yeah.
And then they dropped the Please Stand By trailer. Picture up with the
Did you
TV
watch
background. The trailer?
Yeah, I think for our time it came out 2 a.m.
Was it 2 in the... Oh yeah, it was early.
Yep.
You were so primed for that, man.
No, I wasn't. No, actually I wasn't. I just happened to be up at about 1:30. And
happened to be up.
I just
You weren't gaming or anything?
He's sitting there just watching that website stand by.
Shut up. No, I was I was up at 1, and then a friend of mine actually saw that I was on Facebook, and he was like, "Hey, this is going to be up soon. Why don't you watch Kung Fury? Have you guys seen that? See Kung Fury. It's fucking awesome. It's a Kickstarter movie that somebody's made. It was like taking the piss out of 80s films. 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really cool. They got fully supported, and you check it out. David Hasselhoff does the theme music for it.
Oh, really?
The theme song for it. Yeah, man, it's really cool. Check it out, Kung Fury. Anyway, after watching that, it's about half an hour long. I believe they might make more. But after that, it was around the time that the Standby trailer came out, so I just watched it for a bit. And you could have a look on the chat sites, like when people getting excited about it, and I believe it broke the website.
Really?
Like after the countdown went to 0, it was the actual footage trailer didn't come on for about a minute, maybe even 2, and people were like, people were writing like, holy shit, and you couldn't keep up because it just went.
Yeah.
People were losing their minds. It was so good.
Wow.
But yeah, what do you guys think of the trailer?
It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed is there's a lot of colour in it over.
Yeah, it seemed to be
over
bright.
Fallout
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Lots of colour, like a bit more like New Vegas, I guess. But yeah, it just looks a lot more rich and yeah,
Yeah, it looks
pretty good.
Set in Boston, eh?
It
Yeah,
is set in
it
Boston,
looks
yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's set in Boston from what people who live in Boston have said online.
Yeah.
I know that place.
It was leaked a while ago actually on Reddit, but
Yeah,
people were calling it out bullshit, and then apparently it was actually true. Yeah.
So you guys played the previous Fallouts?
3 is the only one. Oh, and I
No.
started New Vegas.
Yeah. What about the
Which is a
earlier
lot
ones?
better.
Did you play
I like that one more.
Did you play the earlier Fallouts on?
Fallout 1 and 2?
Yeah.
I've dabbled in them on PC. They're this completely different playstyle.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit before my time
Yeah.
because I think I grew up too.
Yeah, but beyond, it may be nostalgia value, but not for you because you missed it. Hard to go back to those. They're a bit old.
Yeah.
For those who don't know about Fallout, what would you say would be its story wrapped up in
In a nutshell.
Yeah, in a nutshell. What's Fallout?
It's post-apocalyptic setting. Fallout 3, you wake up. Each one seems to you wake up in a vault, right?
Yeah, it's the same universe, same world, obviously, but every game picks up from a new traveller's perspective. Obviously, like you said, you wake up
In a vault.
in a vault.
Or you start
Well,
Fallout 3.
no,
You were
no.
born, weren't you?
Yeah, you started as a kid, yeah. But New Vegas, you were a courier that was
Oh yeah, but New Vegas was kind of like almost like DLC for Fallout 3, wasn't it?
No, it was a full game.
I know it was a standalone full game, but it felt like it was still set in the same sort of world. I mean, I know they all are set in the same world, but it's like
I reckon it was more of a what they should have done with 3. Like the guns were a lot better, the customization was so much better, the enemies were better. Like I reckon the story was better too.
and I like the survival mode that you could play as well, where the food and all of that actually mattered.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is it felt like ODST did. Like you had Halo 3 was the main game, and then ODST was the standalone game. But it actually was just a tack onto Halo 3, and that's
Pretty
kind of
much.
how I felt about New Vegas.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, you're these different characters in a post-apocalyptic
Setting.
setting.
Nuclear war is
Nuclear
hit.
war. Oh wait,
It's-
yeah. So it's a parallel universe from if nukes were launched in World War Two.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah, that's right.
1950s and 60s during the testing for nuclear bombs and stuff that was
Yes.
going on at the
Yeah.
time. So
Because it does have
Cold War sort of
it
setting.
does have that esque of like those old school like
Old
American
cars, yeah.
families and
50s, yeah.
the
It's
old
all-
50s like
And
duck and cover when you're covering for nuclear war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Bioshock in a way because Bioshock's that same setting,
Yeah.
and it's like that destroyed beauty of that era in the 1950s or 60s or whatever it is. And yeah, it's exactly the same thing. It's just not set underwater, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't complete Fallout. It's a huge, expansive game. It was so long. Like I did clock up in my mind. Like I did a good 60 hours, 60 maybe 80 hours of Fallout. But I felt like I didn't do anything. Like I did find the characters' fathers and or father, and I did do a lot. But I felt like I did nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's a cool game.
I wasted
really
that
enjoyed
game. I did absolutely everything. Every achievement. I did all the DLC. I spent hours in that world. And the funny thing about it is because Fallout is such an open game, but it's so open that you can literally go anywhere right from the beginning. As soon as you get out of that vault,
Yeah.
whichever direction you choose to go, it's entirely up to you. And you can beat the game in about 11 minutes if you go to the right place.
Wow.
You literally can just go straight there and find your dad.
But the point with it is you can do that. It's one of those do the main story or side quests.
Yeah,
choose.
you
So
just get wrapped up in the world.
You have that choice. So when Fallout 3 came out, when Fallout 3 came out for me, because I was still in that, I want to do everything first before I complete everything. And that's probably why I didn't do anything. I've probably done a good majority of the side quests.
Without DLC in Fallout 3, you have to, because when you finish the storyline, the game ends. There's no...
you don't get left in there.
You don't get left in the world.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the game actually ends, but they released DLC that lets you carry on.
Yeah. The DLC was really good.
I
too.
did a bit of the DLC as well, and because I got the complete
Yeah,
version.
that's
So
the best way to do it. Yeah.
like for me, I didn't realize that it was DLC because it just
they had a
it just
DLC,
carried on.
a carried on game,
Yeah.
as it ended.
That's what I love about
bullshit.
Bethesda is their DLC is actually always really good quality. Even the Skyrim DLC, it's all really good.
Well, they're PC guys, aren't they? Bethesda
Originally, yeah.
originally. So like they're not DLC, they're expansion packs.
Oh yeah, right.
Which is
quite a, it's actually quite a distinction.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that's what The Witcher's offering is like they're giving that free DLC, which is just small little trinkets thrown at you, and then the difference of that expansion pack, which is going to be coming later, which is full on like another 8 hours of actual
30 hours.
30 or was it
30
30?
hours.
Get it right, man.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's what. And that's the difference. That is a difference. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
extra $30 for an extra 30 hours. $1.
It's
$1
not
hour.
bad. So yeah, 200 plus hours plus another 30. Yeah, great. Yeah, cheers guys. Cheers guys. Yeah. But with now that we've got the announcement of Fallout 4, what do you guys think?
I'm excited, man. I'm really keen to get back into that world. I was actually talking to my brother the other day. I prefer the Fallout universe to the Skyrim universe.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
And
Oh, really?
I compare those two
yeah.
because they're the same company. They seem to go off and on. They'll make a Skyrim, then an Elder Scrolls,
Yeah.
and then they'll make a Fallout. That's kind of what it seems to be.
Well,
the
what's
path.
just for those who haven't played Skyrim, the difference? What's the difference?
It's more to do with the setting, like because Skyrim's more the Elder Scrolls series is more fantasy based with orcs and elves and
Like
castles
the World of
and-
Warcraft / Game of Thrones version.
Yeah, it's cool. I love it, and it's all like magic and swords and sorcery sort of thing, and that's cool. But Fallout, I don't know. I actually hate post-apocalyptic stuff generally because I find it quite dull and boring.
Yeah.
But somehow Fallout manages to be very interesting.
I think it's the atmosphere.
It's
Like the setting's really well done.
It really
with the
is.
40s styling and the old school radio you can listen to
Yeah.
whilst you're running around and
And the VAT system,
But also because
awesome.
it's set like a couple thousand years after, I guess, the World War II. So they've still kind of got
it's 2280 something.
yeah.
So a couple of
So
hundred.
so
years-
even
couple
though
of
it's
centuries.
a
still
couple hundred
it
years.
still has that 1940s 50s esque, but still has future technology.
yeah.
For example, with this Pit Boy and stuff, like it
Yeah.
has a radio on it, but
But the technology is really crude because
GPS
they're sort of having to scavenge all this stuff in a destroyed world in order to create it. So, and you've got like the remnants of, I guess, scientists that are left over who survived, who are sort of piecing the stuff together and able to make it. So, it's not super scientific.
It was sort of like a futuristic. Like I think it almost might have been around now. It was just that style never left. Like they just got stuck in the 40s.
Yeah.
Because they had flying cars or like nuclear powered cars. Like when you shoot them, they blow up and go. In Fallout 3, and they've got those.
Apparently, those are actual things. They actually
bots.
grab designs from actual nuclear cars.
Some of it was actually real inspired stuff.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about Fallout 4 next gen?
Well,
new graphics, because like when I saw the trailer did look cool, but it still felt. Fallout 4 kind of. Like the characters kind of looked like clay.
Yeah,
it
looked like a tarted up Skyrim to me.
Yeah,
like it didn't look like a big leap forward for. I don't think they used a new engine. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just the Skyrim one. Beefed up.
The graphics didn't blow my mind. But
do you play it for its graphics though?
No. That's why I'm not bothered at all
because it's gonna be a world and its universe. So it's like. I think, especially those games like those big sandbox open world games like Grand Theft Auto, I think some of them do kind of take a hit in the graphics because of and I think we understand that as well. And it's like graphics can take a hit for something like that.
I think the main
PC's
reason
different though because you can just change it yourself.
Yeah. I think the main reason it's disappointing though is because we're in a next gen cycle. We're like 2 years into
beginning of.
Yeah, but we're 2 years into it, and we're expecting, like, we've had our HD remasters coming in, and we've had those sort of games that sort of transition from being old school, probably started off being built on the PS3, Xbox 360 era, and then just got changed. And so we're sort of expecting that the games that come out now are going to be dedicated next-gen games. And unfortunately, a game like Fallout 4, which has been in development for like 4 years, maybe 5 years, it's at least been 7 since the last one. It actually was being built originally in that PS3 360 life cycle, and it would have been being built in those engines. So it's the same. It is still the same story, even though we're 2 years into this. It is just they would have made a decision at some point to change it to Xbox One, PS4, and so that's why the graphics. I think it hasn't been built from the ground up with these consoles in mind. And I think that's the disappointing thing is we want a game to be built from the ground up with these consoles in mind.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried because the story is going to be amazing, and that's why we play games like that, like Fallout. And
well, apparently your character will actually be a talking person.
Oh yeah,
like
they showed that in the.
There's going to be a mute fucking walking around everywhere.
You always have the silent protagonist in games.
I didn't like that.
No longer.
No,
Fallout. Like I found that quite annoying,
especially when everyone else talks to you.
Yeah,
it's almost like you're just sitting there, like they're talking to you, and you sort of like, hello. You have to say something yourself because your character's not saying a damn thing.
Well, it means like they'll probably move away from that. You'll click on someone or they're on track with you, and it's like, and it zooms right in on right on their face.
That's right.
And then they just start talking right at you, and you'll pick your options. So it might go into more of a Mass Effect. Pick something from the wheel or Witcher 3.
I quite like the Mass Effect system. What's the Witcher?
It's the same thing. It's just just like a list of options. It's like the cinematic conversations.
But is it timed?
Some things are timed.
Yeah,
depending on choice. Like already, choice-based stuff is sometimes timed, but otherwise you can. I think I've had to go do something and I've just left it mid-combo, and he's just sat there looking at the person, not saying anything.
Oh, yeah.
On the flip side, like I do enjoy the Mass Effect Witcher kind of style where the character already has a voice because it makes me build a character from there on. Yeah. I'm guessing the reason why for Fallout 3 is that like it doesn't have a character, so it's kind of in your mind imagination on how because you're creating your own character. And I guess the way that you decide how you want it to feel would be your kind of style. But I do enjoy the Mass Effect Witcher style better. Almost like I do like to hear a character.
Well, it's like when you watch a movie and you get taken on a ride and they present you with a character and that character does this and talks this way and does these actions and you just go for the journey. And that's kind of like the game. It's no different.
But
the silent protagonist does work as well. it just, you imbue yourself with the character, and you just have to imagine in your own mind what is going on. Especially in games where you have choice, where like you can play sort of more stealthily or more, over the top, sort of gung-ho violent or whatever. So your character might be like, yeah, I'm gonna kick some ass today, and then if he talks like that throughout the whole thing, but you're actually playing a very different version of that, it's gonna pull you out.
That's what I'm finding with The Witcher 3 at the moment, is that Geralt is such a gravelly kind of voice kind of guy, and then if you do something silly, he's still got this seriousness to him. Which I'm finding hilarious at times, but I don't think
it can be a bit awkward.
Yeah, and some of it's a bit awkward in terms of like I don't think this character would do this because we've built this character on what's already been given to us. Right. So when you do say, I haven't done it yet, but a friend of mine told me that there's a bit where he actually does a play and you have to remember the lines.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's
so.
Cool.
That bit's real silly. I cringed through half of that.
Yeah, so those cringy moments, as I find, because with his character's already this set up kind of gravelly, kind of badass character, and then you do it something like a play. It's like
to be or not to be.
Not so badass. You wouldn't see Kratos. You wouldn't see Kratos doing a fucking play.
No.
Yeah. If he even got touched,
that's the thing, because it would be so unbelievable to see that character do it, and I guess that's what we're saying, eh? Like you give you make your characters this gruff, rough, traveling sort of hulking man, and then chuck him in a play,
Just for that, a story I like to share about Skyrim. When I first started Skyrim, it came out, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be a mage for once, and I'm going to be this gung ho hero mage, and I'm going to learn these cool things. So I started running down like near beginning of the track, and then I found a cave. And then I went into that cave, and then it turned into this big story where I started learning. I was coming across like the undead, and I had this boss skill, and I had to learn like necromancy to bring them back to life. And I used the soldiers against them. So I was like, I'm gonna be a hero of the world. And then it went down, and then came back this like dark necromancer, but the best guy that you could ever come across. Like I was just like happy go lucky. I'll just bring the dead back to life to save you. And that wasn't my choice. It was kind of my choice, but I was like, I'm gonna try and be a real good guy. I'm gonna try and be the hero. Yeah. Went into this cave, came out this dark ass dude, had all these dark powers and bringing dead back to life, and then using like summoning swords and stuff. So like as much of as a hero that I appeared to be, it was like, check out my powers, I bring the dead back to life.
Kind of like an anti-hero.
So I thought that was fun.
That is cool. Yeah. It's cool that you can be surprised by the choices that you'll make just because a game is able to send you down a certain path.
Mm.
And I love that.
Sharing more stories. When I was playing Fallout 3, I had a cool part where I came into a city, and I got shot by a sniper.
Oh yeah.
And I saw a glint in the distance, and somebody was in a good vantage point shooting me. And I automatically ran to the closest building because I was dying. And then just before I came up to the door, I found a hand blood print across the door. Mm. And as I entered in the room, I had followed a trail of blood to a raider who was just a guy who had come across the same thing.
Yeah.
So he had been shot, except he bled out and died. Now, what I liked about that is that there was no generated sequence, or they didn't have to show me that. That was just something I ran across.
Yeah.
And I built up the story myself. So that's what I liked about Fallout, that they didn't have these kind of...
You could have run the other way and totally missed that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it just turns out that the other way was a minefield.
Right.
So I went into this area to like try and kind of build up my strategy. What am I gonna do? And I came across this little small story that had been implanted there that I could have missed, could have seen, or if it come from a different direction, say if you came from the back and killed the guy and then ended up searching the place, you probably would have completely missed that.
Yeah, it's just nice little touches like that help to flesh out the world and your experience of that world. Yeah, and making everyone's individual experience different depending on how you encounter these things.
Exactly. So that's what I liked about the Fallout universe, is that they did those things like that and it wasn't set up. Do you think they'll do the same for Fallout 4?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I wonder how much larger the world will be, the map,
I don't think they'll make it any bigger.
Are you sure?
It works.
Everything
the way it
seems to be 3-4 times bigger than the previous games. It's like...
I think it works the way it was. I don't think they'll get too big.
Yeah.
I think a bit silly.
What about the dog?
Oh yeah, it looks like you're going to get an animal companion.
Well, you did in Fallout 3.
You could get a little dog,
You got a dog called Dogmeat.
Dog.
Oh yeah, briefly, yeah, you could get the dog, yeah.
Oh, dog.
I think my dog died.
teary moment.
I can't even remember.
Just get
So
a new
long
one.
ago.
I'm trying to remember if they could. Could your companions die?
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
But you could also get like a
Not at New Vegas. Your companions are like fucking gods.
They're like immune.
Yeah, they're fucking ridiculous. They just kill shit, man. Like half the time you just let them do all the work.
No, there was a time where I had the dog and it was really useful, but then it got to a point where the enemy started getting stronger. So you end up once you end up buying a house or having a place to stay, you can send him. He can stay there.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I
So-
did. I got rid of him at some point.
I do remember him dying and like reloading it back up. I was like, no. But there was something that you could unlock where you could where if they did die, they would respawn. So it was
Right.
like one of the perks. I think it was like dog meat had puppies, kind of thing. And like that's how they did it.
Yeah, I think it was
if
a
he
perk.
died,
One of the litter came.
one of the litter was your new companion, so he or she woun't die.
Cool.
That was one way of
I
countering
like
it.
having dog companions though in games. I find them quite. I don't know.
That was really cool because starting off
Fun.
when I had dog meat with me, I remember not being able to like see enemies yet, and then he'd sprint off, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, there's someone around here." Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's gonna be like
pre-warning system.
It'll be like Fable 2. Did you play Fable 2 with the dog?
Yeah.
Some people aren't dog people. They're like cats.
Well, you can't have a cat in a game, all right?
Cat companion.
Well, we don't know. You might be able to get a cat. Or
Yeah, maybe you can
someone
switch out the dog.
Fallout 4. That's a
Some
new
people
thing.
like monkeys,
or,
you know.
or a rat or
Little
a
monkey
I
on the
love monkeys.
a ferret. Or...
I remember after I saw
Monkey
Aladdin
pet.
back in '91, I really wanted a monkey. I told my mum I wanted to have a monkey, and you can't get monkeys in New Zealand. You're not allowed them as pets. I wanted to move to Arabia, to Persia,
Yeah.
wherever. All right. Well, I guess we're all excited for Fallout 4, and it looks like there is a listing for a 2015 release. So we're likely to see it this year. I would say, all right, let's have a little bet. I reckon we will see Fallout 4 in October.
This year.
Yep, this year.
Oh, yeah, it has to be this year.
Wow. Well, they're going to announce on E3, aren't they? I'm going to say October next year.
Whoa, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
I'm gonna
Next
say-
year.
Dave,
Yep.
what do you reckon?
Yeah.
Just a
I
month.
reckon-
You don't need to be too specific.
I reckon end of year, so we'll say November,
You can-
December.
November.
Of this year?
Which one? November or December?
I'll go November then.
November? Lance?
Do
I
you
have
give
no idea. Let's just go January.
Next year.
Yeah.
All right. So that's not a bad release time, January next year.
And then he's right. We're like, what the fuck?
We'll do a special episode where we're kicking the crap out of Lance for being right. I think that's us for this week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be coming back at you in another fortnight, but look out for other content that we're going to try and upload throughout the weeks, other Let's Plays or just other things that we're working on. Got some stuff in the pipeline. Aside from that, please subscribe to us on YouTube if you like what you see. Have a look on Twitter and follow us there as well because we're putting up content there too. 4NZ Gamers, and also on Facebook. You can find us there. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any suggestions for other topics or things you want to see in other shows, hit us up.
Peace.
Swear it.